DJ LSD, and you're listening to Love the Beat Radio, best station in the world.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Goddess Jazzy show. Oh my God, am I excited? Yes, I am. So my first guest, he's just parking up. Yay, I'm excited. I've got like a girl fan. What do you call it? A thingy fan. What do you call it now? Morning. I thought he wasn't coming. So I texted him and I said, this is me. I said, good morning, exclamation mark. You know what I mean? And he said, I'm just parking. So people, please tune in. If you're into, hello lovey, hi. If you're into boxing, we'll be getting there. Yeah. Anyway, how is everybody? I'm so excited, I swear to you. Let me do some shout outs. I want to shout out to my beautiful goddaughter who buried her grandma yesterday. Shout out to you, Tasia. Auntie loves you so much, and I'm very proud of you. Likewise, your mum would be very proud of you with everything that you're doing. Rest in peace, Jane. I want to shout out to my lovely cousins. We're going through it at the moment because we're soon to bury our wonderful beloved Chanel. So I want to shout out to my cousins Julius, Graham and Christopher. I want to shout you out. Oh my God, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Who else? I want to shout out to my cousin Jackie. Yeah, Miss Rumble. Thank you. So guess what, people? Yesterday, I'm sitting in the car. Had my lights on. I didn't realise what happens. My battery goes flat. Had to call our RAC. I was freezing for 2 hours. As soon as he came, I held his hands. I said, give me your hands. Give me your hands. Give me your hands. Oh, I'm so excited. So he did, and he gave me a new battery, and I was good to go. Good to go. Now, the film, the music video I'm in, is out as well. So I'll put the link to that. It's really good. Really great team of independent filmers, young people. You know, like I like to help out the young people and everything. What else has happened? So my guest that's coming in, he done a very poignant talk about mental health in men at the O2 this week, the VIP lounge. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh God. I'm so excited, I'm telling you. Make sure you stay tuned because yeah, he's got some stories. And I want to shout out to lovely Dino that I met as well. He was supposed to come on today, but unfortunately has to deal with the paperwork for his mum's funeral, so he won't be able to come in. I want to shout out to George, the other pro boxer. Hello George, I hope you're there. And to Julia, his agent. His story documentary will be coming out soon. He'll be coming on soon as well once he's got that sorted out. And I just want to give thanks for everyone that's come on this show and the new people I've met that are coming on. Oh my God, I'm excited. You know, I'm always excited when a guest comes on, but I've never, you know, even though I'm close ties with Michael Watson, I have never had, you know, a heavyweight coming this way. Yay! So hopefully he'll find a parking space, and then he'll be here shortly. So in the meantime, let me play a tune to get my nerves down because, you know, he's a big stuff, you know. So I'm gonna play. Let's play something a bit, I don't know. A bit I was going to play Eye of the Tiger, but that's a little bit much in it. Let's play it. Let me see. I want something, I don't know, but these are all a little bit thingy. Let's see. Yeah, let me play this. I'm going to play Le Bianca People. I hope you enjoy it and make sure you're tuned in, man. Oh dear, this is so exciting. And I'm supposed to be having another guest, Ari. He did say he'd come in, but I'd have to forgive him because he stopped work at 4 o'clock this morning and he'll be tired. But no problem. All right, let's hear this tune and let's get with it. My lovely guest is here. Yeah, I told you I'm excited. Tune in, tune in. He's just getting himself together. Let me play a tune while he's getting himself together. Hold on. Okay, let's put on something a little bit less than that. Okay. I'm going to play Fantasia, When I See You. And then afterwards, I'm going to introduce my wonderful guest. So here we go. Okay, 1 second. All right, I hope you're tuning in. And in 3 minutes, I'm going to introduce him. Let him get his breath back and everything else. Oh, dear.
How long's this place been here?
I'll tell you in a moment, dear. Okay, here we go. Enjoy. How are you? Right, I have to take that, otherwise the thing... He's listen there. Wait, let me give him a good introduction. I'm with Julius Francis, the British heavyweight and British Commonwealth champion. Yeah, if you see his hands there, people, telling you, thank you so much, Julius, for coming. Oh, it's a joy and a pleasure.
I've got to say, former British heavyweight
champion. Sorry, please.
Former British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion.
Okay.
Holder of the Lonsdale belt outright, only the fourth.
Yeah. I should have told you to bring your belt.
Heavyweight champion yeah, I could have done.
Yeah.
Only the fourth heavyweight to actually win that outright.
Yeah.
And then...
What year was that, if you don't mind me asking?
When I won that outright, that was 2000. By the time I won it outright. So I boxed and won the British title in, I think, 1997.
Oh, okay.
And then... yeah, as obviously part of my fighting career.
Yeah. And
then won it outright by 2000.
Yeah.
So that was one. That was my. For me, that was my.
Was that your actual?
That was the goal I set for myself.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah, I set myself the goal to become British champion. When I first started as a professional boxer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this question: what got you into boxing? A lot of people will want to know. I'm sure.
What got me into boxing?
Yeah,
well,
what's your reason?
It becomes a number of different reasons because I could fight. I thought I could fight. I wasn't 18. I was 18 when I started as an amateur boxer.
Okay.
But it wasn't with the intention really to become a professional. It was kind of like one of those things for me that I was getting in trouble. I was fighting on the streets.
Yeah. Did you fight in school?
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
So you was bad.
I wouldn't necessarily say I was bad, but
because the school you went to was very. Abbey Wood was proper.
Predominantly a white school.
Yes.
So we had in our school, in each year of the school from when I started, which was I'm going back some years now.
I know it's like
maybe
X amount of years.
73, 74.
Yeah.
It was a predominantly white school.
That's right. And it's a racist area, if I remember right, back in the day.
Well, you say a racist area. When I first remember and grew up in Abbey Wood, there was only 4 black families where I lived.
Is it?
There was only 4 black families, yeah.
Oh my word!
So you can imagine it wasn't, and the thing was, it weren't. As a child, you don't know racism.
Yeah, that's true enough.
So, but you maybe have this thing that you're a little bit different, but you don't actually know why.
Did you get any racism, like racist call, like?
I wouldn't necessarily, because you didn't in school. School was different as you obviously progressed in school and got older. It was different, but as a child growing up, you don't. I can remember things and remember people being. I would say kind of funny and whatever, like a bit different towards us, but we wouldn't know. We wouldn't have known the words racism. Or
but how did it make you feel if you was called? Because back in the day, I was called a nigger, and that's when I realised racism.
I never heard that until I was, say, 11, 12, 13.
Is that still primary school?
No, that's when it's secondary
school. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you heard that, how did it make you feel? Because I fought that person, and that was primary school. Shame, I'm not advocating violence, but yeah, I did. I was so angry.
Yeah, you got into fights, but again, reflecting and looking back, I never necessarily, because I wouldn't necessarily. It was maybe because I felt different. Obviously, because part of my growing up, there were different issues and different things going on. So, I had kind of like. There was different issues coming from both sides, from the black side and the white side.
Black side as well.
Yeah. Because my whole story doesn't just start from Julius Francis being kind of growing up. So from the age of from being born, I was actually born in Peckham.
Okay.
And lived in Peckham to the age of 2. Then moved over, I think, to Abbey Wood when I was from the age of 2.
Did you have both your parents growing up?
Yes, for a time.
Okay.
And obviously, no, and my dad and obviously got my mum and dad. They were in the home. And then there's this different dynamic. Then obviously with my dad was away working sometimes. My mum was always at home. Then there were stints for us as kids where mum was away. Obviously you don't know why.
Oh.
And it turns out as I got older, realising that my mum was or she had this thing that was wrong with her, and then it turned out to be that that she was actually, obviously going back into this to mental health before that we talked about. My mum had schizophrenia. Yeah. So that's what she was diagnosed with, and I found all these things out as I got older.
As you got older. So when you was growing up, you didn't see, but you wouldn't understand if you saw any signs of anything.
All these different things that was happening, or different mood swings, or different this kind of different behaviour. So so it's kind of life. You just work around it. You work around these things, especially as a young black boy growing up. We didn't know any different. Like I had my brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Are you the eldest?
No.
Oh, you're not.
So I had an older sister, a younger brother, and I got a younger sister.
Okay.
So, but unfortunately, my older sister and my younger brother have both passed away, and you know. So, and then I'm left with my youngest sister.
The youngest sister.
And then I have 2 stepsisters. So, you know, and we was always a tight family.
Yeah. Even though that was going through.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All the different dynamics and the things that happened. We always remained very, very tight. And
how did it make you feel
close.
when you found out that your mum was schizophrenic as you got older? How did it make you?
It didn't really. It never really had. I don't know if I could say, you know, the one thing I do feel. I think there was that thing of everybody had their normal parent.
Okay.
Or normal parents. And to say that your mum had schizophrenia
back then as well
was back then was a very
like a taboo.
Yeah, it was a taboo type thing. Yeah. So you kind of did feel different, and you didn't really want to talk about it.
And did you find out what caused her?
No. Later on in life, you understand, and you get to understand that there are these different dynamics and different issues, which I'm not necessarily going to go into.
No, that's okay.
That you find out, and then you go, well, wow. And it's even deeper.
Yeah.
It kind of goes to the way government treated black people as well, and black women back then in the 60s and 70s. It was you find out all these different things and things that happened.
Yeah.
And then you say, wow. How do you
thanks for joining. Hi. Yeah.
How do you
navigate all of that?
You navigate life, and then you're expected to, without people see you act in a certain way, and then you and because they think, oh, you're just a bad kid, without knowing anything about your background.
Yeah.
You know,
assumptions, isn't it?
You're told and taught and looked at in a certain way. You know, so again, kind of going back really and coming forward a little bit to where I was boxing and fighting.
Do you think
that was kind of part of it? Yeah, it was definitely part of it for,
is it because of anger?
Acceptance.
Oh, acceptance.
And growing up in the 70s and 80s, especially Woolwich, Plumstead, Abbeywood, those kind of areas, there was this element as we got older into the 80s of this national front and racism and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, you basically there were points where I had to fight or end up just getting left on the road. Yeah, you know,
it was rough back then.
So it was rough, and it wasn't and it's funny.
Do you remember the skinheads?
Yeah, of course.
Did you remember running? I remember running from Clifton Rise because they chased us.
Right, so
that's in the 80s, though.
Yes. So, but Clifton Rise, and I remember because I went to college at Lewisham College when it used to be right up on where the old
yeah. Okay, cool.
So, but we never necessarily when college was there. There was a lot of older heads, older black heads that were there, that were bigger than us, stronger than us, and knew the. So I never felt intimidated or afraid of being there.
Yeah.
And no, never. And I knew that, and I'd heard about the skinheads marching in Lewisham. Yeah. We had the skinheads marching in Woolwich and Plumstead. Because they generally came up from Dartford, Kent, Dartford, and all this kind of stuff to come to Woolwich or to going up into the West End.
as well.
Yeah, oh yeah. So obviously as a,
Wow.
we're just breaking out, say 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
So you're just breaking out and you're finding yourself and doing whatever. You start going up into town. You start finding these different places and doing different things. And then because London at that time, the West End at that time, was the amalgamation of so many different cultures.
Yeah.
As in musical cultures as well. Like you had the skinheads, the mods, the rockers, gays, reggae, not so much, I wouldn't say so much reggae. Or rastas, but you saw them every now and again. And there was all this, it was more of a, to me, it was more of a melting pot of all these different cultural, these musical cultures as well, that brought everybody into one place. And this is where, like I see it, was more of a, definitely more of a mix. And then these factions started moving off into their own little
groups,
groups. And then that's when the more you saw the divisions and you understood where you stood. So you stood in this side. You had the skinheads over there, and it's funny because the skinheads used to listen to reggae music and ska music.
That's the thing.
So
that's
you're
how
thinking,
odd it is.
Hold on, you listen to that kind of music and you're jumping up and down.
You want to chase us down,
but you want to run us there, yeah. So imagine, yeah. So all these, so all these different dynamics, and then obviously, as we were growing up, as we was getting older, and I was getting older, yes, I had the boxing. Or I started training. Yeah.
So did you train in Woolwich area?
Yeah, my gym was St Peter's ABC, which is still there, not in exactly the same place. Okay. But obviously with different trainers and you know, it's moved on and been cultivated differently now. But yeah, for me, my trainer, Pat Dempsey. Was a great old man. Was he? For me personally. Yeah. Helped me in my life in different situations where I got myself into trouble, and he was there for me. And I will always be forever grateful.
Is he still around?
No. He passed away a good few years ago now. But I do credit him with what I never knew what he saw in me, and he always used to talk to me about being a great and being a good fighter and all these. And one thing he always said to me, what I will always remember, he said the same people you meet on the way up are the same people you meet on the way down. Yeah. And he would always say this to me, and I never understood this. And obviously it takes years of life experiences and all these things to understand that. Yeah. And you know, one thing that I will always have, one endearing memory that I will always have, is that Pat said to me that he was a really old time fighter from back in the day, and he always wanted to see a British title, the Lonsdale belt. Okay. So, and like I say, coming back and going back years, he helped me in situations. So when I became British champion, that was one of the first things that I needed to do. All right. Was make sure that he got to see that. His boy that he had faith in. Yeah. And it's crazy when I think back and look back at these people, that they saw this something in me, but I couldn't. Obviously, I could never see it. And so it was a great thing for me to be able to go to his house and say, look, you've done it. There it is. Yeah. You know, this is the Lonsdale belt for you. To see and hold and it was great. Did you have a second option after boxing? If you didn't succeed in boxing, no,
just
it's
asking.
like, no.
Did you have like
it wasn't,
there was
you
no
know,
secondary?
No, because no. It was... Because boxing, and like I say, boxing, I never knew. I never had a goal of being a professional boxer when I started boxing as an amateur. My second option was I was going to be out on the road. I was going to be a robber. I was going to be a bank robber. Or
so you didn't see anything else?
No. There weren't really. That wasn't an option to me. I was a fighter. In the sense that I did get in quite a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really a goal for me to say, oh, I'm going to aspire to be the CEO of a company or have my own business or anything like this. I had jobs, obviously.
What type of jobs did you do?
I was more like, I did a lot of labouring.
Yeah.
I was a hod carrier. Yeah, for those who don't know what hod carrying
is that? Explain to us.
A hod is a tool that bricklayers, or not bricklayers use, but bricklayers labourers use. Okay. So it's like a V-shaped
thing. I think I've seen it so long.
And they put it on their shoulder, carry bricks. They put bricks in it, carry it on their shoulder, up and down ladders. Back in the day, nowadays you wouldn't. You
use a machine.
Very they use machines. That's why they. Yeah. I class these people as being kind of weak and whatever. But, so being a hod carrier on a building site.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You
that
did?
was because the reason why I enjoyed it is because I was training all day. As far as I was concerned, I was training all day, running up and down ladders, mixing muck, like muck, bricks and
cement and stuff like that. Yeah.
Sand, cement, carrying bags of sand and cement and all this kind of stuff. That to me was my fitness training before I actually went to the gym. So I was that was kind of I used to set myself challenges when I was on site.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to. So you on site, you get sometimes you had these bags of cement used to come on the lorries, and I would challenge myself
to carry them
of how many bags of cement I could carry. You know, so I'd put 2 on this shoulder and 2 on this shoulder, and be running up and down stairs and things like this. Yeah. Only because I was challenging myself, and it made work fun. In a way, it made, although work was hard, it made it fun.
You see, young people out there.
Everything was like there was a lot of manual. It was manual labour, and it was. Yeah, I didn't worry about that kind of thing. That was kind of a challenge to me.
And can I ask you, were your family proud of you when they knew that you was going to do boxing? If your mum understood it.
Oh yeah, of course, my family have always been 100% behind me. Yeah, 100% behind me. Yeah, it was because, and I said it was my choice, and it took me when I decided to become a professional fighter, and that's another long story in itself.
You better come back again. Morning,
when I decided to become a professional fighter, it took me 18 months to actually make that transition.
Yeah. Who did you have to support you on this journey? You know what I mean? Did you, apart from the guy, just yourself?
Yeah, basically myself and my family.
Okay.
There came a time when after I turned pro, so I was still working. Okay. I still had a job. So I'd work and train and fight as a professional. And then I had my first loss. So and that was after my 7th fight, I had my first loss. And that was against a guy that actually went on to become a world heavyweight champion. I was devastated.
Was you?
I was absolutely devastated.
But you were young at this time, or?
Well, no, because I never turned pro till I was 28.
Oh, okay.
I never became a professional boxer till I was 28.
Is that the norm? I'm not sure. I don't know.
So usually, look, if you look at fighters, heavyweight fighters nowadays, they're in their early 20s. Yeah. You even think about Mike Tyson, he's kind of a real exception. Mike Tyson was a world heavyweight champion at 20 years old. Okay. So I never understood how that level things work like that. Does that mean you can't fight
generally?
No. It's not nothing to do with who you can fight. Yeah. But just the projection of where they think you might be able to go, maybe. So when I turned pro at 28, I said my goal obviously was to be British champion. I never, I think, and I say to myself, I set the bar there because I wanted to be British champion. That was the thing that I wanted to aspire to. But if I'd set myself the goal of, right, I'm going to be world champion, how far would I have got? Yeah. So in some ways, this goes back to sometimes when I'm in schools teaching and talking to kids, that you don't limit yourself. Yeah. You know? So I set the bar to become British champion. I'm 28. I'm thinking, right now, most guys that have been in boxing have been boxing from a very young age as amateurs, kind of 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. And then they come into the sport a lot, and they have a lot more knowledge and skills and what they've built up over the years. But for me, not only during my fighting careers of boxing as an amateur, I was kickboxing as well. So I did kickboxing, I did kickboxing, kung fu, taekwondo, all these kind of. But this was more to do with fighting on the street. Right, okay. So, so I could fight. I think I could. I thought I could fight, and you know, but you don't really know because boxing is a skill. Right. It's different skill from the normal fight. Yes. As to say, okay. So when I became a pro, I said, all right, then I was asked. My first trainer was a pro. There was a group of us. I remember there was a group of us in the gym, and he asked us all, what did we want to get out of boxing? And some guys said, I want to be a millionaire. Other guys said, they want a house and a car and this and that. I said, I wanted to be British champion. And that was my goal. Yeah, I wanted to be British champion. I didn't know who was British champion at the time. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but that was my goal, to be British champion. So that's quite a positive thought, though, isn't it? Quite a positive. You spoke positivity to yourself to do that. Yeah, and all these, and again, when you like people say these things and you speak truth to power. Yeah. Hold on, let me write that down. I'm going to nick that. Hold on. Wait a minute, Julius, hold on. Truth to power. You know that'll be on my thingy. But I've heard this said. Yeah? So I like that. Okay, cool. I'm learning something, peeps. You just you put these things kind of into motion. Yeah. And then other things I've learned, like I said, from school and from young people, of different words that were spoken. I never knew these words, but I did these things daily. Okay. So constantly, as a professional, you have to go out running, you have to train hard, you have to focus on the goals that you set. So when you go to the gym, right, how many rounds of sparring am I going to do? How many sit-ups am I going to do? Press-ups, blah, blah, blah. And how far do I push myself? And is that where the trainer comes in? And yeah, definitely. Yeah, okay. Because he's your guidance. Your trainer is your guide. But the trainer said, and that's what my first trainer said. And I had these ups and downs. I had these ups and downs all through my career. Yeah. Winning, losing, being in positions of making that next step, but not quite getting there. But never losing focus of what I wanted. And then, so when I had my first loss against this guy, John Ruiz, he went on to win. Became the first Hispanic to win a world. And that's over here, yeah. I lost over here, but he fought in America. Okay. Yeah.
So have you ever boxed abroad?
Yeah.
You have, yeah? Forgive me if I don't know so much. I'm not sorry, Julius. Oh God, forgive me.
I boxed.
Yeah.
I have boxed a couple of times in America. I've been in America a few times.
And how was it there?
Mainly to train and spar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, for people like women that don't know what sparring is, explain. Honestly,
Sparring,
what is sparring?
And so sparring is when you just go to the gym. You might have. So for me, for instance, I went to America to spar with Lennox Lewis. Lennox was at the time. Lennox was the first. It was his first iteration as heavyweight champion.
Okay.
So, so he was at the top of his game at that time.
All right. How did you feel when you met him?
I was. Of course, I'm in awe of this guy because he's world heavyweight champion. Yeah, and everything is geared towards him. Okay. But this was the time before he had locks.
Okay.
so before he had locks.
Yeah.
So we was in. I went to Washington. We was in Washington, and we was actually training at Sugar Ray Leonard's gym.
Oh.
Yeah. So and unfortunately I've never met Sugar Ray, but yeah. So it was kind of like being in those circles and moving in those. And
knowing that you have to spar with him.
Yeah.
Oh.
So and it was an experience to be around Lennox, to be around the other guys that were in camp, who were some of them are seasoned pros that had been around the game. Some of them were young pros coming up in the game, Americans. It was all all the guys in the camp were American. Okay. Except me and Lennox. Oh. So and obviously
so
Lennox was at no. He's not. Lennox was born over here.
Oh.
He was born over here, but
see, it shows how much I don't know, innit? Lip gloss time, peeps.
Lennox actually boxed for Canada in the Olympics. Okay. And that's why, yeah. So he moved. He was born over here, moved to Canada, and then had most of his amateur career in Canada. Won the Olympics for Canada, and then came to England to become a professional. And then, but obviously he does have British roots. So, yeah, obviously Lennox was at the top of the game. The Americans, they would always say about English fighters, especially English heavyweight fighters, they said it was lay down fighters, which meant that we was always getting knocked out, getting to that point and never actually crossing over the line. But at that time, Lennox was champion. So for me, working in camp with Lennox, I saw what was happening and how they viewed Lennox. He was at the top of the tree. So I had to be there, and I wanted to prove myself. So every day, we as a team, we went out running in the morning. So we obviously you have to be fit and you have to be for sparring and stuff. So how far can you go with your strength in sparring? Do you know what I mean? Are you allowed? Yeah, of course. You are, if you get hit and knocked out, that's that's part and parcel of the game. Yeah, hell yeah. And everyone understands that. And everybody understands. Okay. Yeah. It's not because you cannot go into these things as pity patty. Okay. You have to go in there. If you're not going 100%, you're going 75, 80%. You know, and there might be these times where you go, it does happen, and you go and you knock the guys out and you go all the way, or you drop the guys with body shots or whatever. It's part of the game. It is, yeah? Yeah, it's part of the game. But, and this is a thing that I learned as an amateur fighter, I used to, when I first started boxing, there was a guy named Dave Stewart, who was the first person I ever saw that I went to the gym with as a boxer. I'd come home one night from work, turn the TV on, I hear this name, Dave Stewart. And this is kind of one of the reasons why I got into boxing. Apart from just being a fighter. Yeah. And wanting to fight. But this guy, Dave Stewart, I went to school with. Oh, okay. His brother, Dave's brother, was actually world light heavyweight champion. I'd seen Dave box on TV. Dave won the ABAs on TV, and I went, oh, I could do that. If he can do that, I can do that. So I remembered how it was. That was on the Wednesday night. I bumped into him on the Saturday afternoon in Woolwich, outside the McDonald's, because that's where we all hung out. Yeah, that was our hangout spot. And I said to him, Dave, I saw you box on TV, blah, blah, blah. Look, I've got big arms, I've got muscles, blah, blah, blah. I can box. I can do that. He said, it's calm then. He said, all right, then look, go get yourself a gum shield. Meet me on Tuesday. Bring your gear. Meet me on Tuesday. We'll go to the gym. Done that. Met him. Went to the gym. And I don't know, and I always say this, I don't know whether he beat the crap out of me or he toyed with me, but I couldn't lay a glove on him. No. But I just got hooked on boxing from that. From that thing. And kind of moving forward. And one day we were sparring. We sparring, and he used to really give it to me. And he was a good fighter. Dave was a good fighter. And I said to him after sparring and training, whatever, I said to him, Dave, I said, why don't you never take it easy on me? And he went, do you think your opponent's ever going to take it easy on you? Wow. And then it just clicked. And I went, oh, you're right. And that was it. Okay. So from that moment on, I just knew that there's you can't be, there's no taking prisoners.
Yeah, you have to just go for it.
Yeah, you just go for it, and that's it. And it was funny because training with Dave and like, he used to beat, and he was a good fighter.
Yeah.
He was a good fighter, yeah. He used to beat the crap out of me. And he'd hit me all over the place, body shots, head shots, everything. And it, yeah, when he said that, and it just went bing, and that was it. So moving forward now, as a young pro, I'm looking at these guys, these American guys, and they're going to me, yeah, you British fighters, you all lay down fighters. So my challenge to myself was
not to be that
when we went out running in the morning, or when we sparred, or anything. Especially when we went out running, we used to run on we was based in Washington, and we was training at a place called College Park.
Okay.
Which is in Washington, and then we trained on a.
How long was the training for? For hours or?
Oh yeah, we spent a good few hours in the gym. Yeah, we spent a good few hours in the gym, sparring, training, doing all the, because you have to be, you know, you that's your livelihood. You know what I mean? And then so when we went out running, I would make sure we ran on an 18-hole golf course on this because it was a college facility. Yeah. So they had on this college park. It's Washington University, but the place is called College Park, and it was massive. It's like a city in itself. So they had the American football stadium that we used to run round up and down the stairs. The 18-hole golf course. They had I don't know if it was a 20,000 seater basketball stadium, whatever. It's massive. The place was absolutely massive. It was, they had everything, and part of the I was told part of the government's stuff. They used to use part of their facility as well. The government, Washington government, used to use part of their facilities. So, but I would make sure every day when we went out running, every morning we went out running because we had to run as a squad, that I was either first, second, or third, and never ever, not one day did I ever come lower than that, because mentally I wanted to show these guys you're not gonna. Yeah. Overrule me, and I was, and in the camp at the time we had there was good guys in the camp. We had some quality sparring in the camp, and a couple of the guys. One guy who was one of Lennox's sparring, but he ended up actually fighting Lennox, but he fought His name was Andrew Gallotta.
Okay.
He's a big name in the sport. He fought Lennox, lost to Lennox, but he fought twice with Riddick Bowe, who was world heavyweight champion, and one time he nearly beat Bowe, but Gallotta was a bit of a dirty fighter and kept hitting low, and he got disqualified and whatever. And then there was another guy, Ross Purity, he came in from American football.
Oh, so that's a different
mad. This guy had mad strength.
Yeah.
Mad, crazy strength. He was just strong as a horse. He was actually like, you know, he went on to win the world heavyweight title. He beat one of the Klitschko brothers. Yeah, so he was good. He was good. Like, he had some good quality guys in the gym, you know.
What did you eat? I'm interested to know what a boxer eats within training, or do you not eat?
Food wise, I was very.
What's your diet? You know.
Back then, I was very conscious about what I ate, but I did a lot of things wrong.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't necessarily. I'd eat just good, plain, wholesome food. I suppose it would be, but I obviously dropped out cakes and biscuits and all that kind of stuff.
So didn't you have a strict diet?
I wouldn't say it was a strict diet. No, I just food at that time was just a fuel. So I didn't eat to feel happy. I just ate because I had to. Yeah. To train.
Okay.
I've always been one of these people that I've always loved seafood, so that was one of the things I did enjoy. And obviously, coming from a West Indian background, is your hard food.
Work.
Yeah,
it's just hard work to work that off.
Yeah, exactly. So.
How did you minimise that? Because if you had the whole shebang, you know what I mean? I'm talking about yam, banana and all that.
So my thing was, and this goes back to kind of Sunday, this mental health thing, that I used to eat and then kind of half an hour later, I'd kind of swallow them, stick my fingers down my throat.
Oh.
So because I'm thinking to myself, in my head, I'm going, I'm eating all this food, I want to be fit, so I don't want to put on no weight.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the other side of training and fighting and sport in general, maybe. Gosh. That these things do happen and you know, and I heard about these things
growing up, isn't it?
Maybe,
really?
yeah, like
TV
for women,
yeah,
especially talking about anorexia
and bulimia. Yes. That's right, yeah.
But bulimia, I didn't know what bulimia was. No. But then years later, and I've been doing this thing for a very long time in my career, and years later, someone said, and I said this, and someone said, "Oh, that's bulimia." I went, so what's bulimia? Like, and that's what they explained to me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what that was. And it's obviously the opposite of anorexia.
Anorexia, yeah. Wow. And then again, you wouldn't hear men.
No.
I never knew about anorexic men at all. It was always women, and bulimia was always women.
And I think I've not really heard of cases of anorexic men, but obviously anorexic women, because there was a campaign a few years ago. And that talks about this. So, and these are offshoots of all this pressure that you're under to look good and train and try to be the best.
So all even through the training, you had to put on that image of trying to look good at the same time as well. That's
maybe not necessarily.
Physically, you mean?
Yeah,
okay.
But not necessarily for anybody else, but for myself.
Okay.
You know, so I'm thinking. And it is that pressure where you go, your trainer might go, oh, have you trained today? And you're running, and you're going, right, now you've got to be, and not necessarily as a heavy, because I was a heavyweight, so I didn't necessarily have to be at a certain weight. I just used to have to be, I wanted to be in shape.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to look good. When I put my shorts on and my boots and went out there, I wanted to look like I was in the best shape of my life. So that was a pressure. That was an added pressure.
As well, wow.
So, and I don't know how these things are now, but I guarantee there are guys out there that will do and have done the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, because there is a pressure to be.
Do you wish you could have spoke to someone before you was? I'm gonna say
Oh
that. There was someone
of course.
that you could have spoke to and say,
But
"This is what I'm doing."
then in that, that's your showing weakness.
Okay.
You know, and men can't be weak, and men in that game in boxing, you can't say that you're you're doing these things. I could never tell. Even my trainer, as much as I loved my trainers, I couldn't tell them that I was.
They were doing that.
Because they I don't know. That's a sign of weakness as far as I was concerned. You know.
Do you think the taboo's been broken now, or do you think it's still at that?
There must be still guys out there that go through the same things that what I kind of put myself through.
Yeah. Because
they want to. There is a pressure to be your best. And look your best, but this is not just necessarily in sport. Yeah. In boxing.
In every
it
day
could
as
be.
well.
It's in everyday life, in football and all these other different sports where you have to go out and perform in front of people. You know, like dancers and whatever. I know dancers and they have to put themselves through a lot of hell. It's difficult. It is really difficult.
We're going to have a break in a minute. I'm going to give Julius a break. He's meant to bring me hot chocolate as well, you know.
Sorry.
Man.
I don't even know where from. Sorry. Because we haven't got a Costa around here.
There is actually.
Is there?
Yes, down there.
Sorry, all right. I didn't
I love him. The way he says sorry. If you know how I curtained him up on that day. Oh, Julius, I'm really grateful, especially if you're sharing this because you're helping someone out there. You know what I mean?
I hope so. There's
well.
Young people, older people that because I've lived this life.
Right. Now you can breathe, yeah. We'll be back. back, welcome back. I'm still here with the wonderful Julius Francis. We just had a bit of a laugh. Well, not really a laugh with Abbey Wood, but, you know, just saying how I was feeling about that area back in the day, you know? Is it still moving? Okay. Sorry, something's just going on. I don't know why this isn't stopping. Okay, let me just go like that and then do that. Why is that going on? I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure you can hear me. So, what is this? Why is this? You know, this is what happens on radio, people. You know what I'm like, so forgive me. But I don't know why. Okay, good. I think this has stopped. I don't know how to do it. Why has this gone on? I don't know. Anyway, let's get to it. I don't know what to do. So, Julius. Julius is a good man, you know. He offered to make me a cup of tea. I said I want to marry him, but he knows the reason why I can't. Narcissist, that's what it was.
A narcissist?
Yes.
Men are narcissists.
Not, well, yeah.
Wow.
Not all, I
Not
guess.
all men. Not all men.
But, you know.
I don't think I am.
You don't think so? What star sign are you? If you dare say Gemini, Leo or Taurus. Which one?
Sagittarian.
Oh, that means you're very generous. You're
yeah.
You're very generous. My grandson's Sagittarius. You're
My
very
birthday in a
generous.
couple of weeks.
Is it? What are you doing for
I
us?
think, hold on, 10 days I think it is.
Yeah.
It's actually, sorry, I need to give a shout
Please
out.
do.
I need to give a shout out today because
Yes.
if I don't, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble.
Okay, shout it out.
It's my daughter, Jada.
Is it her birthday today?
Jada Kai. It's her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Jada.
Happy birthday,
oh,
sweetheart.
how old is she?
She's going to be 24. She's
Ooh.
24.
Oh, happy birthday,
So,
sweet baby.
yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Love you.
Oh,
This is a, yeah,
what have you got for
special shout
her?
out.
Talk the truth.
What have I got for her?
Yes.
My love.
What type of Sagittarius are you? But crying out loud.
She's a Sagittarian. I'm a Sagittarian.
You're very generous.
She knows exactly.
Yeah.
Where,
Are you? Would you say you're a good dad? And if you are, why?
Would I say I'm a good dad?
Yeah.
Sometimes I say I'm not a good dad.
Yeah. Are you strict?
I don't think I'm as strict as I can be or could
Oh.
be. I don't think I'm a strict dad. I
Not
don't
strict,
think.
probably.
No, and plus then because most of my children are they're of age now.
They don't need telling.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah. One thing I would say about me and my kids is I've never beaten them.
Haven't you?
No, that was one thing that
How did you manage that? Sorry, son, that I did, but how did you manage that?
because the reason why I say this is because as a child I was beaten.
Yeah.
And I know it's kind of one of those things that we can laugh about it as especially as Caribbean people, that we laugh about it. We can laugh about it now.
But it's traumatic when you think of it, isn't it?
Yes, that trauma and
scared to speak because of
and
getting a
being put
beating.
into being told be seen and not heard and all this. You know, we laugh about it now.
But at
And
the
we
time,
can, but at the time
it was rough.
So I just said that when I was young and whenever I had children,
Yeah.
I would never beat them.
So
Never
how
beat
did you chastise your kids?
them. I made their mums do it.
Oh,
And
God. Did she beat them?
I told them off, but I never put my hands on them.
Never put.
No.
And you know what? You say that.
Because I'm a big man,
Yeah.
and you know, I understand a big man looking at or a child looking at a big man is a child just gonna say that's a giant.
Yeah. So why bother put your hands on
Yeah.
them? Just
So it wasn't
Good
it wasn't
for
a thing me.
you. I admire that. I kind of wish I could step back and never have done that. I've said sorry to my son, and he said, "Mum, if you didn't do it, God only knows."
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
I
grateful.
understand. As you get older and you look at kids, you want to put your hands up,
Yeah.
strangle them or whatever, because they're not doing as they're told. But
Yeah.
I think there are other ways
Of chastising and
disciplining them,
the
yeah.
child.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Have you got grandkids?
Yes.
So that you won't put your hands. See,
Oh no!
I
no.
won't do that with
no,
mine.
No,
And
no,
I let them go do everything.
when I see my grandchildren, and I'm lucky, I have four.
You got four.
I have four grandchildren, two boys, 2 girls. I've
Nice.
just my stepdaughter Amelia. She just had a little boy.
Oh, congratulations,
Jess, little
Grandpa.
Jess.
Are you called Granddad or Grandpa? What's your
Well,
What do they call
my
you? Or Papa?
they just say granddad.
Dad?
Yeah,
It's good though, isn't
the ones that can talk. Yeah, they just say granddad. But yeah, that again is another journey and another which I very much love. You know, I love seeing my grandchildren.
Yeah.
And then my children, which I'm lucky and fortunate that I have good relationships with all of them.
That's good, yeah.
So,
That's real good, huh?
or most of them.
Oh.
For the 4 eldest, I have a good relationship. The youngest one, unfortunately, is a bit of a his situation, but hopefully that will change. You know, as she gets older, hopefully that will change.
It will. It will. We have to put faith there.
I do.
We have to, innit? I know. I know. Believe me, I know. But what else? This thing is still going on. I hope who can hear me. Yeah, you're there, so it's cool. So what I want to ask you is, where's the best country you've gone to? And are you a traveller?
The best country I've gone to.
And don't say Jamaica or St. Lucia. Sake. You know what I mean? Don't say them. Can you just come out of your
I've been to quite a few places in Europe.
Okay, which one did you like the best?
Well, for places where as a kid, when I was young as a kid, I dreamt about going to Russia. Yeah, I dreamt about.
See what Abbey Wood done to you?
And
Russia.
Yeah, and I don't know why, and it just because it just seemed so far out of the norm.
Did you have that thought when it was the USSR? You remember that big map?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I want. Yeah. So, obviously,
Russia.
That was one of going to Russia was actually for me on my bucket
on your
list.
bucket list.
Yeah, definitely.
And have
100%.
you frequented there?
I haven't frequented. I've been there a couple of times.
Oh my goodness! And how was it?
Cold. When I say cold,
Proper
bone chilling,
bitter.
Oh
Mate. My God!
Even,
What makes you go there?
Well, I actually went there to fight.
Okay.
I went to Russia to fight.
All right, that's understandable.
But it was when it was like I say, it was one of those places where it was on my as a kid. I always thought about going to Russia. I don't know why.
No hot country, no nothing. Russia. Yes, apart from Jamaica and St. Lucia. Scrap those ones out.
I suppose I'd like to go to Australia.
You really want to go where someone's not going to celebrate you? What's wrong with you?
No, I think. But
I'd love to go there.
The crazy thing is, obviously because of boxing and who I fought in boxing, and obviously fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
My name has travelled around the world.
Okay.
And I've met people from all these different countries, all like across Africa, Australia, people from Australia, and that have met me, and then we've got into conversation, and they say, "You're Julius Francis. I've heard about you, and blah, blah, and you thought you." So, yes, I would like to visit these countries, but the places that I've been, that I really enjoyed
is
places like Singapore.
Singapore. Is that because you fought there, or you went as a?
No, I went as a tourist. I actually went as a tourist.
So you chose to go. You know what? I want to wake up and go to Singapore.
I didn't choose to go there. I was offered a trip to go there. And it was brilliant.
Was it?
Yeah. I did really enjoy it.
Singapore. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And the European
countries I've been.
Do you like Portugal? Have you been Portugal?
Yeah, I've been Portugal.
Nice, isn't
very
it?
nice.
What about Malta? Malta's nice.
No, I never been.
No, you must go there. It's really, really nice.
I don't know. I like.
You like other countries?
Yeah, I suppose.
So. You're the person that went to Warsaw and Poland. You're that type of person who wants to go there. You're crying out loud.
I've crossed over the border to go into Poland, but I just stayed there. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this question, Julius. You've probably had it already, but I'm going to have to put a number, right? Just pretend you're a poor man and just take it like this. Would you rather be aged 6 years old today with all the knowledge you've got, or have £1 million? It might not mean nothing to you now. Just think it's more than that. Which one would you choose and why? You want me to say
all
again?
the knowledge,
All the knowledge that you've got now up until this age, and I'd be 6
6
years old. Or if I had £1 million, here's £1 million, take it, and it was a lot to you, which one would you do and why?
I'd be 6.
Would you?
Yeah, because having £1 million now doesn't really get you a great deal.
Okay, but I'm saying if you was like, if you didn't have it,
having knowledge, and having the knowledge I have now, with but at a younger age, you could make that a thousand times over.
Okay.
And
what would you tell your younger self today?
What would I tell? Oh God!
I know 2 things.
Tell myself.
Tell my,
you know, it's what I would say is it's kind of a bit strange. Listen, and part of this is part of what we do in boxing, is listening and taking in information, drinking in the information.
Okay. And what's the second thing you tell your younger self? Let's say you were 15, and firstly you'd say at 15 you must listen, and your second thing would be, I'm trying to get this thing off.
Accumulate. Get yourself into a position where you can accumulate funds.
Yes.
And then travel.
Oh.
And travel and meet people and talk. Because they're things that now, when I look at, say, my daughter, who's 24,
the one whose birthday is today,
Jada. The world that she's in is so open, and it's funny because she was born obviously just before the Tyson fight, just before the Tyson fight. She was born, so her world and her life has kind of been lived in a bit of a spotlight, because it's always been. She was like, with me, after the Tyson fight, she was photographed in my arms. Everybody knew her, you know, like from a very, very young age, she's been exposed to what's going on in the world.
Yes.
And now she works in the world. It's kind of like, she works in production and that kind of stuff. And
well done, you, Jada.
Yeah, she's a DJ as well.
Yeah.
She
better come on as well, like come on hers.
Yeah, which I was even really shocked about that.
Yeah.
That she became a DJ. But seeing her perform, and sorry to say, I have only seen her perform on Insta, but watching her
makes you proud.
And yes, it does, because of the kind of her genre of music that she plays. She's very much into. She's very a soul.
Oh my God, Jada, please come in. That's me, 100%. Love my soul.
She does her Afro beats and all this kind of
stuff.
Yeah,
I think
she's been grounded on proper music as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so
good on you. And if you could change anything, what would it be? If you had one thing,
about what?
Anything in the world today, anything, what would be your one thing? See, some people have come on and said they wouldn't want racism. What would be if you had to,
that's big.
But I have to do it big like that. So if you had one thing that you said, you know what, I want that to change because why? What's the one thing? It could be in your life, it could be what you see every day, anything. Yeah, things that I see every day is the hardships that people have to go through around the world. I think that's when I see certain things that happen in the Middle East and in Africa and stuff like that, I think to myself, why? Yeah. You know, it does. Why? It kind of goes back to a little bit, maybe if I'm going a bit deep, consumerism. I use that word all the time. Yeah.
Where we want so much,
and we don't need it
in the Western world, and we don't
need it.
No, we don't, and we don't necessarily think about how it got there, how it got to this position here. You know, we go out and buy these things, but how did it get there? Yeah. and we don't think about the suffering. So that, yeah.
So if you had that magic wand, that's the thing you change.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely, yeah.
Marvellous.
And it's funny because as my young self, my, say, 24, 23, 22-year-old self wouldn't never have thought about anybody else but me.
Yeah.
Because I was the one that was going through my little tiny problems.
Yeah. And you don't think anyone else is going through
that.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going through the same.
But we've all done that, so we're allowed, because we've all done that, you know?
Yeah. So definitely, and I've in life, you meet so many different people and so many different people from different walks of life. And then you go, well, actually, all these people need, and all you need to do is have a bit of understanding.
Yeah.
And understand where they're coming from.
That's right, yeah.
You know, so, and I don't know if this is me just being an old man, maybe, and becoming more mellow.
Mellow.
Yeah. Becoming this
You're
mellow,
coming
gentle
zen.
soul.
You're
Yeah.
coming nice and zen, Julius, like that.
Because, but yeah, me, I'm thinking about myself when I used to live down in Woolwich, and how more aggressive I was. I used to be.
Yeah. So you couldn't come up and approach you. That's what Woolwich done to you. Lord. We weren't allowed to go there because it was so racist.
I'll tell you why it was like that. Is because I think there was always a constant battle. There was a constant battle every day. And I remember there was one time I came out my house. I came out my flat in Woolwich, and I was about 20. I must have been at 23.
Okay.
23, and I hadn't walked 400 yards. I hadn't walked 400 yards from my house across an open patch of land where I used to live, and I was walking up a hill going into Woolwich, and I got stopped by the police.
Oh my word!
And arrested.
That same spot like that. Wow.
Because they'd seen me stop and talk to somebody, and then, and this was back in the day when we used to carry filofaxes. Used to be the
it was all phone and everything.
Yeah, filofax used to be the in thing.
Yeah.
So I had a
Google it if you don't know what it is, peeps.
See, I'm going to see, like,
you're really going
you young
back.
people, you
Man, they haven't lived, honestly.
You don't know.
Do you remember
anything.
pager?
Oh God.
Oh my God.
The reason why I never had a pager, I didn't really know how to use it. Yeah,
all I know is pipped.
Yeah.
And you was meant to ring, I think.
Find
the phone. You remember?
Yeah. So, and that was it. I had a filofax in a little filofax case.
Was it them big ones?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And I got stopped, like this policewoman saw me stop and talk to somebody and walk on, and then stopped me and said that she wanted to search me because she thought I was selling drugs.
And was that your first encounter?
No. No.
It's a lie. It's like, no, it's a first time.
No.
Oh my gosh.
And because I wouldn't submit to being searched for no reason, then she called the other, and I got arrested for nothing. But you know, and that's why I'm saying it was a constant battle.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a constant battle, and I was really not a fan of the police back then because so many different things had happened to me.
And how are you with them now?
I know a couple of policemen.
Yeah.
I work with them as well.
Oh, that's good. I want to bring back your memory. So we're having a little bit of a gist there. Do you remember the 50p meter? Were you at that time?
Oh yeah, of course. I remember my very first, when I came out of care. I was in care, yeah.
Because of mum's situation.
Yeah, part of that, yeah. That was, so I came out of care, and I had a flat in, obviously, a bedsit. I had a bedsit
now.
No, I had a bed sit in Woolwich.
Oh, bed sit in Woolwich.
Yeah, I had a
So
bed
you
sit in
didn't want
Woolwich.
to cross over to South East London?
Huh?
I mean, the proper South East London, not that.
No, what?
You
Going
did-
this way?
No, like our way, like Deptford and Newport.
No, hell no, no. Because I knew my people in my area, and that was it.
God.
I had family and that over in New Cross, Croydon, Deptford, Lewisham. I had family all over there. But yeah, it wasn't. That weren't really. No.
So your area was doing it.
Yeah. So I had a bed sit, and that's obviously you had the 50p meters.
50p meters. Do you remember?
And
Gosh.
I remember that was the first time I got into debt because my 50p, someone broke into my flat
And took the 50p.
dropped the 50p meter, and the things that they held about. I don't know what they must have held about £5-10 a month.
Yeah, but back then it was a lot.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And then you get into debt for that. Someone breaking into your flat and just breaking. That was 50p meters.
50p
Bloody
meters.
hell,
It was one of the days.
Yeah.
And it kind of lasted a little bit. I think it lasted a little bit longer than how it is now.
Definitely,
Isn't it?
definitely a bit now, yeah.
Gosh.
But because, and I remember my flat then, the flat, the only reason I had 50p meter because it was to use for the gas.
For the gas, yeah.
I think for the gas cooker, I don't know if I had
What was for the electric back then? Because it weren't key.
no.
It was
no.
Cause everything back then, people was like a
was
port,
different.
so it was different
Yeah, it
and
was
poor
different.
and everything else. I can't remember.
It wasn't a
when
key.
the
I didn't.
It
Definitely
wasn't
didn't
no
have a key meter.
No, we didn't have a key meter.
The key meter came in later.
Yeah.
I remember that. The key meter.
But it was
It might have
something-
even been. It might have even been the 50p.
It might have been, yeah.
might have
It
been.
could have been the 50p.
Yeah.
And you used to remember the bag you used to keep it in, the money bag.
I hated those times.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, when I read
Because
what happened?
when I moved into my first flat, which was my bedsit.
In Woolwich.
Yeah, and I remember moving in from care, coming in from care. I had moved into this place in Woolwich. I had a single bed, a cooker. No, not a cooker. Yeah, a 2-ring cooker.
Oh, yeah. Electric.
And a washing machine.
Was it a proper washing machine? Was it a twin tub?
No,
Not the twin tub. Do you remember the twin tub one?
No, it was. You had to lift it up at the top and put the things in.
And it would thing.
Top, yeah,
Like a twin tub. That's
I don't know what that is. No. But, yeah. So, and that was it. It was a tile floor. It was a tile floor. Didn't have, and it was on the ground floor. And
What was
didn't
the
have no
heating
curtains.
like?
The heating is what I was going to tell you about.
Yes.
The heating in the room was
Not colour gas.
no.
that?
It was a thing that you had to put wood in to
Oh.
burn, like a coal thing.
That's still a little bit posh compared to what we had.
Posh?
Yeah. We had colour gas.
Posh.
Wood.
Look. It was winter time when I moved. I moved in on the 20th of December. I moved into that place. I remember. And this is one thing I will never forget. The 20th of December, I moved into that place because it was just after my birthday. There was ice on the inside of the windows.
Yes.
And I didn't have no
Curtain or nothing.
It just had net curtains. I didn't have no other curtains, and I was on the ground floor.
Yeah. And you could really feel the cold back then,
Cold?
wasn't it? Yeah.
I used to sleep in my clothes.
Clothes. Oh my God. People, when you relive these things, but the things I like to read. Because I remember, how did the ice come into the window in your yard?
was just-
How did that happen? Do you remember?
No, because, what's this? What's happening?
He's like, oh, it's just turned. Okay.
No,
This way. Yeah.
it was single glazing. There weren't no
Yes,
double
that's right.
glazing or
So you
anything.
could hear your thing rocking when it was windy and everything.
Yeah, and they had those, the little click,
Thingy.
the sash windows with just the thin metal.
Ah, yeah,
With
yeah.
the, with the
With
metal
the little
hand.
bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
People, you have it good now. If you
Listen.
know back then.
Listen.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Isn't it?
And then I moved. I was lucky and unlucky because what happened? The only reason I moved out, I got moved out of there, is because next door to me, the people had moved out or something. They moved out, and then other people had moved in there, and Nick's cut all the pipes and all the
crying out loud.
They cut all the pipe all for the
not the water pipe. No,
yeah, all the water
pipe.
yeah, all the water pipes and all that.
Gee
and then
whiz.
it just flooded into my place. It flooded into mine.
Ah,
and
yeah.
they had to move me out.
And you were still in Woolwich.
So yeah, oh yeah, no, well, yeah. I was Woolwich, but it was Charlton.
Oh, Charlton.
Right, so really there was the road that said Woolwich, and there was the road that said Charlton.
Road.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah. So I've always stayed in the same area.
Gosh.
Always stayed in the same area.
So let me ask you, if you don't mind me asking, what was it like being in care? Especially if you've never...
Well, I was in care from the age of 10. So I was in it. So like I said, when we moved to Abbeywood, and then so from the age of 10 to 18, I came out of care. And I was with. We moved in as all four of us.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Was it all of you?
All four of us at first moved in with this family, a white family.
Yeah.
The Harringtons. Very good people. Yeah. And I'm still in contact with one of my foster brothers, Neil.
Oh, lovely.
Who I'm still in contact with him.
Were you still allowed to see Mum while you was in care?
This was the strange thing that we were told no, we couldn't see our mum. So she could come and visit us. Yeah. But we weren't allowed to go to her unless we was accompanied. So and now when I think about that, that was really traumatizing, really devastating, because obviously going to school in Abbeywood. I went to school in Abbeywood, and my mum really lived, say, about a mile away or something like that from. So you weren't allowed to go from. And we weren't. No. Yeah. So would they be watching you? Well, or you felt as though? That's what we felt. You know, that's what I felt, that I was being watched. Yeah. And for me, I would always say that I was very much a mummy's boy. Yeah, yeah. When I was young and lived at home, I was always round my mum. You know, like I was in the kitchen with my mum. Remember, because like I say, my dad was quite an aggressive man and whatever. So I always wanted to be with my mum. Yeah, yeah. And I remember her being a very pleasant, smiley, always singing. My mum was always singing. So, you know, and then obviously later on in life, as you get older, and then you see these other things that happen, but you don't understand why, and it was because of schizophrenia. Yeah. Yeah. You reckon she could have got help back then if people knew? Or I don't know what. Yeah. I don't know what brought it on or how it. No, well, obviously later in life there are things that we learn. But even with what you learn, do you not think there could have been someone that could have just said, listen, no, because they didn't know the help. Then, what I've gathered is that people were put into mental institutions, mental homes, and given kind of electric shock treatment or injections or sedation and all this, which as obviously as a young person you don't know anything about this, because you have no understanding of this. The people behind it probably didn't as well. So So, but then you learn. Then obviously, as you get older and you learn all these different things, you see these different things, and you go, "Bloody hell, that's what the government was actually doing to black people and black women." Yeah. As part of their strategy of I don't know if it was kind of eradication or depopulation, or whatever. And you learn these things, you go, bloody hell, really? That's what they was doing? And then you equate that and go, well, when you hear these stories and when you remember things, you go, well, that's what they did to my mum. You know? So you was part of that story, as yeah.
Because even you saying it, I remember watching things like this. But knowing now that this is real life like this,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So,
Gosh.
and it's hard, even now, to know that I grew up only knowing I had my older sister, myself, my younger brother, and my younger sister. There's 4 of us, but not understanding and hearing this story as you when we was kids. Yeah, no, you know, I don't know if you ever experienced this when you got a letter or the family got a letter from overseas.
Yeah, email one.
Right. So getting letters. I remember my mum getting letters from Jamaica.
From your
And
granny,
then-
maybe?
no.
Oh.
My mum had 4 children in Jamaica. So this is the thing that we have now have learned over the years. So she had 4 children in Jamaica, left them in Jamaica to come to England to obviously look for a better life.
Yeah.
With the
intention of bringing them.
with the intention of bringing them over. So unbeknownst to us or whatever, there was something happened in Jamaica where that communication was cut. Was broken down. So then obviously my mum meets my dad and we're born and whatever.
Wow.
But there's still the family there that are not able to come here.
Gosh.
So that's why my mum then eventually became ill.
Yeah, of
and
course.
suffered with all these mental
that
health
pressure
issues.
like
That's
that,
right.
you know.
So,
jeez.
and it's crazy that when I am able to talk about this and whatever, and it's kind of this long crazy story.
Yeah, yeah.
But and then equating that some of that to what happened in my life and where ups and downs and this that, and other, and then
kind of makes sense,
me being
it?
a fighter and other issues of me being this aggressive, as seen as this aggressive person that's got no control, blah blah blah. So then all these things transfer.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what we was talking about on Sunday with mental health issues is that we're put under all these kind of pressures.
Yep.
And
it's a lot.
Yeah, and then but expected to just get on with it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's not until I had a son when I realised that you're allowed to cry.
Oh yeah.
You're allowed to shout. You're allowed to this. You're allowed to that. Because I don't want you to be in a problem that you can't express yourself.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And every young person I meet, I've told them you're allowed.
And then having to
put on this
when
cover.
You say when you say about expressing, when you have to internalize everything, you have to just keep it.
Because I'm a man. No, cry, shout, whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
So you know, you go through these things and you think, so boy, you know what?
I know.
And then it's that other thing on the other side of it where you go, well, yes, it happened, so I get on with life.
But you still needed the help.
But yeah,
so you still needed that help. You still needed that backbone for someone to just navigate you differently.
And then that backbone and that strength really only came from my brothers and sisters.
Imagine
because
that. So not aunties or uncles or nothing like that.
Not really, no. Not really. On my mum's side, definitely not. Because I think my mum had a sister over here, I think she had a sister over here, but we lost contact. So I had my dad's side of the family, my solution side of the family, but they weren't really. It wasn't there because which is funny again. Jamaicans and solutions are not really.
I was going to ask.
They're not really meant to mix. So solutions. Because my dad speaks patois and my solution side of the family, a lot of those, especially the older heads, they speak patois and then they spoke patois. So there was that communication breakdown where if my St. Lucian aunts and uncles came over, and my dad would speak only in patois to his family, and my mum would be kind of left out, going like, "Why you're leaving me out of the conversation?" But that again, as kids, when family come over, they're sitting downstairs and drinking. You're told go upstairs.
Go upstairs, yeah,
go upstairs and don't make no noise.
Don't make no noise.
You know what I mean? Why in your bed?
I don't come downstairs for nothing.
Don't ask for nothing, don't pull nothing, don't say nothing. I don't want to hear you, you know what I'm saying?
But
so
you know, as you could become a parent, you know that you just didn't want your children to go through that trauma. And I didn't realise it was trauma. It was my own son that said, "Mum, do you think what you've gone through was trauma?" Like, what? No, I just got on with it.
We just got on with it.
But it was trauma. Traumatic in every way.
Because now, and especially when I look at my grandchildren and my, like, they are only young. 2 and 3 of the eldest are the ones that are around, and I haven't. She's 12.
Ah, same as my eldest. Yeah. Can they talk freely to you? Talk anything?
Yeah, I'm not gonna stop them.
Yeah, because
that's what I want. I want them to just express themselves.
Yes.
So when the family are together, we're not excluding them. We're not sending them upstairs.
No, like back then.
Why would you want to do that? To exclude kids from part of their life and knowing and growing and seeing. But that's what happened.
That was happened to us. That's where we are traumatized people because of this. I wanted to be downstairs to see what was going on. Do you remember the parties? And you'd be in the bedroom with all the coats. Yeah, of course. Just upstairs, just go upstairs, and then being told you can't come downstairs. And if you get called, called downstairs, you're getting called downstairs because they want you to go across the road to go and buy a drink, to go and buy cigarettes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then go back upstairs. Yeah, come on, man. Oh my God. But the thing is, if we didn't go for it, we would appreciate it now. But honestly,
this is what I'm saying. We can laugh about it.
We can laugh about it now, but at the time, it's
crazy.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it seems so archaic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but you know what?
Oh.
What don't kill us makes us stronger.
That's right. Exactly that. Oh. So I want to say, we ain't finished yet, but I want to say, having you here is wonderful because I was being tears to my eyes because something that you said, no, it really does. Apart from the sexiness of him, Jesus,
whatever.
People, look at this, look at him. But you said something, oh, mate. You said something about being in New Cross. You remember what you talked about? And because I was trying to hear, because somebody else was trying to talk to me, and I heard that part, and I was just thinking, what the heck did you go through to have that thought or that reasoning to say, let me end it? You know what I mean? What was that turning point that said, I've had enough?
That was a real in my life then. That's like I say, that was about 12 years ago.
And that ain't so long ago, you know.
No, it's not.
It's quite fresh when you look at it like that,
Yeah. So, what we was talking about when we was at this forum on Sunday was about being when I was at my lowest ebb, and I was at like I told the story. Yeah. That I was at New Cross Gate train station with my son.
How old was he at the time with you? Was he pretty young, or?
I think he was about 15. I think he must have been about 15.
Okay, so you had a bit of an understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was coming to the gym with me to train, but I was feeling so down, and this was just after. So me and my partner would split up, and I was living in a place in Lewisham, living in a room in Lewisham, and I was just kind of like.
Had enough.
Yeah, I just had enough. I was just there and just thinking to myself, see, this is the crazy thing. What I'm thinking to myself, you're Julius Francis. You've been right up there. Everybody knows your name, and now you're living in one room, going through this mess of losing a partner, not being able to see my baby, and all this, and that was it. I just said to myself, it was time to just end it. It was just time to just, you know.
Did your son talk to you?
No.
You just went like silently.
Yeah, and I remember I was just, like I say, I was there. I had my hoodie up, and I was just crying. It was just burning me inside.
Yeah.
And even thinking about it, going back to that place is just thinking about it. It's kind of saying to myself, well, you know, it's hard. It's hard, and then thinking right now, I really felt that there was nothing left for me.
Yeah, and there was no one that you could call to. Or
no.
that.
There was nothing. You know, I have family, yes, but and this is what I was thinking: how would they be able to understand me, and how would they be able to help me, and how would they be? And because all I wanted at that time, I wanted to be back with my partner, my child, and you know,
which you're allowed to have the feelings. You know?
And I just felt, I was at my it was just whether it was a crisis or whatever, a crisis point or whatever. But I was just feeling that was the worst I'd ever felt in my life, I think. And it weren't as, you know. A couple of times before that, there was, I think 2 times before that in my life where I'd had panic attacks. Before then.
What was that feeling like? What came over you? Was your heart?
Yeah, I remember the first time I remember was when my mum passed. And obviously I was with my foster parents. I was in my foster home, and I remember laying in bed. It was night time. I was laying in bed, and I don't know if I'd been dreaming or whatever, but I woke up. I remember waking up, and just everything had closed in on me. Just everything, and my brother. I remember my brother being there. And he must have, obviously we shared a room, and he actually got in the bed and was cuddling me. I remember him holding me. As a dream or? No, that was he was holding me. But whatever the situation was, I must have either woken up or been awake, and this thing took over me. Yeah. And I remember him holding me and cuddling me and just squeezing me. That was that time, and then the next time that happened was obviously a few years later, when my best mate passed, my best mate John. And I remember I was up on Plumstead Common. I was sitting in my car, and I can't remember if I was speaking to somebody on the phone, and he passed, and I was devastated. And then all of a sudden, everything just went crazy. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. It was just those, and this is hard to think about that, and hard to fathom that when people look at me and go, "Bloody hell, but that's Julius Francis. Look at the size of him."
Yeah, he's supposed to do this, that. Yeah.
Yes.
No, but he's still human.
Yeah.
You're still human.
And this was just before John died in October '98.
Oh my God, my birthday month. Crikey.
Yeah. So he died October '98, and then after that, which is kind of weird. Because of with me and John. If we went out with just me and John.
Okay.
And then after he passed, if I ever went anywhere, I was just on my own.
This was your friend?
Yeah, he was my best friend. Yeah.
That's like me, my best friend.
And then during that, just after he passed and after his funeral and stuff like that, and towards the end of the year, that's when I met my daughter's mum.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in a way.
Yeah, I don't know. She gets on my nerves sometimes. Not really.
Quiet
I
yourself.
do love you still. Sorry. I don't mean that. Please don't take it to heart.
But it was a blessing at that time when that happened. You see,
no, because then I found someone that I could talk to.
Yes.
And have some kind of understanding.
And was she a good listener? I spoke to her.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think she's and we've obviously we've remained friends. We're not together, but we remain friends.
Oh, that's good. That's positive.
Yeah. So then, another like I was in the car and just couldn't move, and it's that horrible feeling. And again, the same thing happened when my brother passed.
Yeah. Did you ever check it out that it was a panic attack? Did you ever get checked out to ask what's this
No,
thing?
because it was for me. It was like
that shame feeling again, or
I think it's that thing where and at that time there, what happened? I was lucky that it happened then because I had all my family around me.
Okay.
Yeah, I had all my family around me.
Yeah.
At that time.
How are we going to break the stigma? Come on, Julius. How about something of men not being able to cry, speak out, and not just sit there? Listen, I just lost my nephew at age 24. He committed suicide last month. We don't know why, and he just graduated, and he just committed suicide. So why? I don't want to know that a next young person is going to make that their first choice. How do we prevent that from happening first?
Again, like I say, like I said the other day, it's about talking.
Yeah.
We need, especially, I think, when I think about young people nowadays, and young men nowadays, and young boys nowadays, when I go into schools and I see everybody's what fam, this fam, that fam, and I say to myself,
that language.
Yeah, it's kind of it's destructive. That is destructive. Yeah, because those people that you call fam, and those people that you call my boys and the man them,
or mate even,
when it comes down to it, they're not there for you. They don't want to be there. They don't want to listen to your heartaches and your crying and your tears. You know, that's the thing we need to change. And I understand where we have to.
Because we're the grandparents now.
Now,
we are. Remember, we had our grandparents. We are those. We are the parents and the grandparents of all what we see.
And it's not. We have to understand. We have to get into these young people nowadays. It's not. There is no shame. Yes. There is no disrespect. There is no seen as being weak if you have to talk to somebody. I would rather be. People look at me and go, "Oh, he's soft." If I'm crying. If that's what you think, that's what you think. But if I get if I'm able to let go of my emotions and let out, and then I'm not going to go out on the road, and this is what happens with young people, I'm not going to go out on the road and be angry and have to carry knives and have to carry malice for somebody and what you look at that, blah blah blah, because so then we have to have this understanding with each other. We have to have this understanding that not to be afraid to express our feelings.
Well said. And on that note, we've got 6 minutes. What's your final words you'd like to say? What is your poignant word you want to say? I really push questions at you, don't I? I tell you.
One thing I remember this comes from a movie.
Okay. Is it something I have to write down?
Do the Right Thing. No.
Okay.
A movie called Do the Right Thing.
Ah, yeah, Spike Lee.
Yeah, a Spike Lee movie. And it just come to me.
Yeah.
That my thing with the question you asked is, why can't we all just get along?
Just as simple as that. Eh?
As simple as
simple as that.
A real easy thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I found, if when there's a group of young people or a group of young boys, especially black boys, who are seen as being very intimidating to people, like, and because they're all dressed in black and they look really aggressive.
What is that about as well? What is that about?
Colour seems to have gone from clothes.
Honestly, I love colours. I just don't understand it. Everyone looks the same.
Yeah. So they're all being very generic and looking the same. And so they all get tarred with the same brush. So instead of looking across the road and seeing someone and saying, what, blood, what? Look and smile. Because smiling breaks so many barriers down.
And you don't know what that person's going through.
Yes.
And you make them better, you know, or happier.
To give someone a smile and to say, yo, what's good? Instead of saying, what's good, my end?
Yeah.
Say, what's good, king? What's good, my queen? How are you, my queen?
Yes. Yes.
That to me sounds so much, and it's so enlightening and so uplifting.
Yes.
And, you know?
Because we've been doing the same thing for the same years.
Yes.
And still nothing.
And nothing has changed.
Oh. And it really infuriates me. Oh, God.
So, yeah, these are the small, they are small changes that make a big difference.
Big difference, of course. So you heard it here from Julius Francis, people. Smile. Talk to someone. Speak to a young person.
Yes.
You know?
100.
Just
we learn from each other.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier, some of the words that I use now, I've learned from young people.
From young people.
But I was doing those things all through my boxing career. One thing I do say, I always say this as a thing for young people to get on in, to move forward. Dedication, discipline, desire.
Wait a minute, Julius. Hold on. I need those things. Hold on. Dedication. And don't look at my writing. It's awful. Dedication. Discipline.
Desire.
And desire. Ooh.
Those 3 words.
That's on my profile.
Is everything that I used to propel myself forward in my boxing career. But I never knew what those words were. I was never able to say those words. I just knew that it was something that I had to do. And then it was young people that told me those words.
Wow. So we learn a lot from you young people as well, you know.
Yes,
we learn a lot.
100.
You know?
100.
So we're not excluding you from that.
No, because we can't. Young people can teach old people and old people can teach young people.
100%. I learned how to copy and paste, I did.
From
my son.
See, I'm useless at all that.
So you ain't copy and pasted yet?
I'm useless. No,
Jada, please.
Right now. These are things, yes, I've learned
that
I can transfer numbers, and if I
you know that?
If I press this and hold that there, I can
transfer that. Yeah, you know something.
But
yeah,
I can email on my phone, but put me in front of a computer, I'm lost. Yeah.
My son warned me, said, Mum, you best learn. You have to learn. I ain't going to be here forever. That's what he said. I said, oh gosh, let me do it quick.
This is
I want to thank you. We have 2 minutes. You could have rang in people on Love the Beat Radio, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Goddess Jazzy Show. I want to thank from the bottom of my heart Julius for coming in. I sent him a text today. I said, good morning. You know when a black woman says good morning, what it means. And he replied, I'm just parking. I'm just parking. I was just like, yup, he's coming. Yay!
I'm here. I was definitely on my way.
Bless you. I'm so happy. How have you found it today? Be honest.
It's been real.
Yeah.
It's good to talk. Like I said,
Definitely.
it's good to talk, and I'm glad that I'm hopefully I'm able to give someone information and give them and say like it's not. Do not be afraid. To open up and
express yourself and everything else, isn't it?
Right. That's right.
Julius, you're amazing. Come, squeeze my hand. Look at these hands, people. Look, they're flipping massive. God almighty. And I bet you like slim women. Shush. Anyway,
on that note.
That's it. Oh dear. That's it. It's done. done. Oh my God.